Welcome to Beastie Besties with Jay and Lo, the podcast where we share publishing updates, laughs, and all the new news in our world. On today's episode, we have two powerhouse businesswomen with us with two very different books, sharing their paths to publishing and what happens after you publish. So that's a very fun Friends Are Here segment coming up.
Yeah, I'm really excited to meet them both since we've only kind of corresponded over email so far. Speaking of which, one of the authors that's joining us today has a book that reminds you of all the wonderful little things in life, which we also like to try to do on this podcast. So we check in with, instead of our grumpy fours, we like to have our grateful fours and keep our stuff intentional. So I don't know about you, Laura, but I have a couple things I'm grateful for this month.
Yes, I'm always having something to be grateful for, and I think it is very important when I wake up feeling grumpy, and then I say, okay, let's turn this around. So yeah, do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
All right, well, I am most definitely grateful spring is here.
Mm-hmm.
The trees are in bloom, the flowers are blooming, New York City is gorgeous with all the pink and white trees. And it's also nice in Florida, not too hot yet, which I've been going back and forth to. So I'm super, super grateful that this incredibly frustrating winter is finally left the building. I am extremely grateful to be able to do what we do. And we have, two new authors that just signed on a few days ago, and we'll be, by the time this comes out, we're knee deep in that. So I love all of our authors so much, and seeing them blossom into, the business authors that they become is so awesome. And finally, I'm grateful for just music. It's always the path to changing the vibe, the mood of the day or the moment or whatever, and without it I don't really know what I would do.
I know, I always say life needs a soundtrack, and music is so important. I mean, it's just like a good jam comes on that playlist, and yeah, well, you just made me change my grateful fors, so
mine are so good.
Yours are so good. I mean, clearly, living in Florida and not having seasons, having like a colder spring and a warmer spring, or a colder summer, I guess I should say, and then hot. I always thought fall was my favorite season, but really it's spring. And same thing here. I mean, walking around the neighborhood, I was going to say I'm really grateful for spring in my house. Just smelling the lilacs everywhere, and being able to live in this beautiful house that's just mine and do what I want, and, just being a single lady, just living it up here and decorating, and I don't know, I'm just so happy for it. I am also grateful for all the wonderful women in my life, present company included. My mom and my auntie were just here. They came with Dottie, my dog, her best friend, who unfortunately had to have emergency surgery on the way here. And I was really worried about how Dottie would behave because she just wants to play. She was so good. And now I have a house full of furniture, and they helped me paint and put everything together, and it feels like a home. And so personally, those ladies, professionally, those two authors you mentioned a moment ago, plus, I'm working on the sequel to The Old Witch's Home with Avian Swan Song. And these three books that are coming out are awesome. I mean, Avian is such an unbelievable writer. I love, love, love. And it's nice getting a chance here to do a little bit deeper edit with her and kind of see. And it's just you ask for something, she delivers, just like some of these other beasts we'll be talking to later today. And it's been a lot of fun, working on this book. And it's really good. It's really good. She just added so much extra incredible content and moved things around. Just a treat to work with.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that to come out. She too has she just does what she needs to do, and her sales in her first book were so great. She did such a good job with it. So I'm excited for when this comes out for people to get the second one and to see how those two work together and just watch her continue to grow.
I mean, and the care and consideration and the thoughtfulness and the creativity and everything that she puts into these stories is admirable. I mean, just talent across the board. And I mean, yes, love it.
Yes. So grateful for so many things, and sliding into intentions.
Oof.
The one that I want to focus on, and actually I think it was in here last month, but we kind of glazed over it. I don't want to glaze over intentions. They're so important in staying grounded and checking yourself, right? Yes. But I think that, we've had one to keep this going. We're on episode 7. So, woo! Pat on the back for keeping that promise to ourselves and holding that intention to support our authors. Our author support is unheard of, and that is has been an intention, right? That's been an intention to ensure that we provide them outlets and areas and ways to do that. So, there's that. And then, but the one I would like to propose for right now is to just enjoy the ride.
Ooh. Are we still having fun? That's what you used to ask in the front of every team meeting,
Right.
which we've been a little lax on lately. But
Well,
yeah,
because Leah
truly.
is still on her Spain trip. She'll be back soon. Yay. Actually, she'll
Yeah.
be back before this comes out. So
Oh, sweet.
maybe,
Good.
maybe we
Oh,
need to
I'm
have
looking.
Leah on when she comes back and hear about her story, her trip.
I would love to hear about Leah's trip. Leah's awesome.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, it's just, it's hard enough running one company, but running multiple and then getting all of them to a point where they need to do a little bit more at the same time. This is very stressful. And so but just enjoying this process and watching it continue to grow and knowing that this is just, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
Same with the authors themselves,
Yeah.
you're going to hear from Tew coming up on how much work it is. And you've got to find ways to enjoy what you're trying to accomplish when it comes to business. Because we all have to make money somehow, whether it's job or entrepreneurship or authorpreneurship. And it comes with work, hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, truly. And it's, when you and I were talking about these forthcoming books and things like that and trying to balance it out and see, I was like, oh, how am I going to do 3 books at once? And I'm so lucky that these 3 are all, they're just lovely humans. I'm so excited about them. And their stories are all really great. And they are open to learning and open to communication and things like that. So it's just made the whole process a lot easier. It's like we're all working together toward the same goal,
Yeah.
and it's like, how can we, and each one of them, it's a different process. It's a different path.
Yeah.
Just like it is for each author.
Right. And enjoying the ride can be as simple as just telling yourself, reminding yourself it's, all part of the process, but also just finding things like having your tea. So I have my Golden Bee Bookshop mug and my tea and that music, other ways to just I got to get through the work, but make it fun.
I forgot. That's what I wanted to say. Am I grateful for is, my very, very, very dear friend Michelle is coming in town this weekend
Yes.
because
Which is past
the
weekend,
person.
yes.
Oh yeah, this last weekend, when this comes out. And one of my favorite musicians from forever ago, Pete Yorn, is coming, so we're going to go see him. And my other friend and her fiance, they just got engaged, are coming. So it's gonna be a lot of fun seeing one of my favorite musicians with one of my favorite people. Because I had an open ticket since there was a vacancy there, and I am very pleased with who's using it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
music is awesome, and
Yes.
friends.
And yes, our Beastie Besties. I'm glad that she's getting to come out there to go to that.
Me too.
All right, circling into our news and authorpreneur stuff. The biggest news is that we are shifting our 3-day workshop retreat into a 1-day workshop, and we have secured the CNY Arts Center in Fulton.
Sweet.
And it is a fabulous venue. They had renovations 2 years ago. They literally raised the roof, and I'm so excited. I haven't seen it since they finished it, so I'm really happy to have this there. On top of that, we are May 21st. So in a few weeks, I'm just going to, raise the roof makes Jess giggle. We'll just hold on to that. We are going to be sponsoring their new book club. So they're starting a book club. The first one is going to have Gomez Adams, who wrote Caller Number 7, Please Try Again. And then his wife, Kim Adams, in her book. So her book, Bella and Nash, she's going to do the run-around simultaneous book clubs where there's one for the adults and one for the kids so that everyone can come out. So we're doing both of those and we're supplying the books. So if you happen to listen and be in the Central New York area, make sure you get in on this because it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is the first one, May 21st. They're already going to have read the book. So get in touch or figure out how to get the books so you can start reading. Like I said, they'll be giving away some of them, not giving away, I think they're going to take for donation, the ones that we give them. Of course, you can grab them on Amazon and then participate in that. And so the authors will be there for any questions and answers, autographs, all that fun stuff. And
Yeah, speaking of giggling, if you want to giggle, your Caller Number 7, Please Try Again is freaking hilarious. Like, Gomez and Kim both wrote such excellent books. I laughed out loud many, many times, as I've mentioned how much, and Kim's book is so great. Those two are tearing it up on the marketing scene.
yeah, I love their events all the time.
Oh,
And they're actually
fun.
posting things on social media and just they're having a blast together. So speaking of keeping it fun, they're
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
doing that. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I'm excited to go. I'm going to try to get there so I can be a part of that. Then we are, for the circle back. The workshop will be in the same location, and by the time this comes out, there should be registration there. We're going to have tables with a contest for best table in different categories, so you can sign up to have the table there, whether you're craft or books or an author, and you can set up. It'll be outside. The thing is to be gorgeous in August. It'll be perfect. And then the workshops will be held during the same time inside, but they'll be separated so you can pop in and out to your table if you want to go to both.
Since I'm ignorant with the area, is that the place where Amaranth is? That kind of real cool collective space?
No, that's in Syracuse itself. Fulton is probably about a half an hour north. It's a little outside of Syracuse, but it's not too far. And it's a very cute little town. And they're going to be doing, I thought it was showing the movie, but they're not showing the movie. They're doing the play of Legally Blonde afterwards. So you could stay for that as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super fun. Is it like school actors or adult actors, or do you know, or?
I think it's just community. Really I think it's a mix.
Community?
I think it's community. Yeah.
Sweet.
So
that's awesome.
It should be great.
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So our speakers might be having building backdrop behind them or something like that, because they'll be doing it in the stage area.
That's super fun though.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And they're such great people. Oh, I would love to shout out Bill Grace. He is my contact there, and he'll be retiring. So I appreciate that over the years. When Barb talks about doing billboards, I think he was the contact. But he's just such a great person, and he's not an artist himself, but he's such a big supporter of the arts and artists, authors. Yeah. And so, I just want to give him a shout out before he sets off on his retirement and heads off into the sunset. Hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be at Brooklyn Book Festival. We'll keep shouting that out. And
with our friends at Fiction Magazine.
Yes, with all of our Beastie friends. And then we have a YouTube video. If it's not out already, we did a recap of the AWP event with the authors that attended, so you could hear and learn about what they learned, and if you would like to attend next year when it's in Chicago. So you can check that out on our YouTube channel. Yeah,
I had a little teaser conversation with one of the authors that was there, and just kind of the things I wish I'd known. And it was like comfortable shoes. You got to wear comfortable shoes was kind of a highlight of that. It's like, oh, I know, seriously. Well, I hear the doorbell, so our friends must be here. So let's invite them in and see what's going on.
So let's invite in Kelly and Barb. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi, good to see y'all.
Awesome. Well, let's kick off with Kelly. Kelly and I met in Syracuse. I met both of them. These lovely ladies in Syracuse. And Kelly came to me with her book Started and didn't want us to publish for her, but wanted to self-publish. And I know that she's completely technically capable. So we did coaching work together. So that's another service that we provide where we'll just meet with you and walk you through it. And so I would give her homework, and I've never had a better student.
That's great.
But tell us about your book, Kelly.
Yeah. So it's Clarity by Design, comprehensive checklists in medical communication, and it's about creating comprehensive checklists for work tasks. It's meant for people like me who are medical editors or medical writers in the pharmaceutical industry. So it's a very niche kind of world,
to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so niche, and I just can't. It's really hard.
Talk about that some more. Like, you wanted to have this done by this conference you were going to, because that's where your audience is. So how'd that all work out? I mean, and you did, like, when I think of writing a book for technical medical writers, like, this is so very specific, but then you still made it fun.
Yeah, I did try to make it really approachable, because people do have a lot of, I don't need that. And then there's some people who don't need productivity. They have their own things they want to do. And so it kind of needs some, they need some motivation. They need some encouragement. So I tried to make it very approachable. But it is really hard to market to such a small niche. I did take it to that conference. It's the American Medical Writers Association. And I did have a lot of people buy books from me, and I did have some people ask me afterwards, like, yeah, where can I order your book? And I'm like, I carried like so many books. Like you could have had a book, you could have had it cheaper and signed and right then. Like why didn't you ask then? Like it ended up being really weird because here I am self-publishing this book and it's a tiny little thing. It's just as long as it needs to be. And then there's a colleague of mine was actually also traditionally publishing a book called Medical Editing, which is like a textbook. It's like a huge textbook. And she brought it to the conference and she actually they like gave them away. And I was like, oh my gosh, here I am trying to get $12 from people to buy my book. And she's like giving away a textbook. So I was like, no, it's not. You just never know what's going to happen, right? You know? So
everybody has their own goals and their own budgets. So you definitely cannot compare yourself to what the author next door is doing because, everyone has a different, just is not necessarily just because she's traditionally published, but she might have 10,000 of them in her closet she's trying to get rid of. Whereas
the press was there. The press was there giving her book away.
Yeah.
It was a totally different situation. But I am using it as okay, so where is she? Like, what is she doing? And so I'm trying to see what kind of stuff she does and see if I can emulate any of it. And then also on Amazon, she's usually gets paired with me. When you say, people who bought your book often bought this book. And I was just like, oh, yay. So, I felt like for a little while there that I was in the right place to get to the right people.
Sounds like it. I mean, and medical editing, too. Just the terminology, making sure it's all spelled correctly or pronounced
That's why
correctly.
you need the checklist. It's so specific. The formatting is specific. The abbreviations.
Truly.
There's just a lot of details you have to track. Because I was a technical editor for 15 years before I became a medical editor. And I just didn't need checklists the way I do in this industry.
There was an SNL, right? There was an old SNL skit with Kate McKinnon when she was introduced playing Penelope Cruz, and they had her try to pronounce all these words that were in the shampoo, and it was so ridiculous just watching it. And I mean, pseudoephedrine or pseudoephedrine or however everybody pronounces it differently. Bravo to you on that. Congratulations.
Well, I don't have to say any of those words. I just have to read them and know if they're spelled right. So it's a different skill.
That would not be my strong point. So let's talk about, what was the self-publishing experience like for you? I know that you were always telling me I didn't do enough or I'm not. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, the marketing is the marketing is way harder. I mean, I was a technical writer, technical editor. I'm good with software. I can figure out systems pretty well. I've been doing that kind of stuff for a long time. So getting into Amazon wasn't hard. Initially I thought, well, maybe, that I would lay it out. But then I saw a book that someone had book designed and did the cover, and it was the seamless, it just looked amazing. And I was just like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. I want what they have, And so I ended up hiring, this person who's a book designer, a cover designer, and I had her help me with that. So, I did pay people. I paid a book designer, cover designer. Even though I'm an editor, I paid an editor to look at it and then to proofread it when the final files were done. But I like the flexibility of it. And you don't make a lot of money, but it is what it is. I can make more if I want to go out and sell books to people in person, of course. I like the flexibility of knowing that. If I wanted a second edition next year, I can do it. I don't have to wait for anybody else to tell me it's okay or that I didn't sell enough or that anything like that. So
a lot more creative control, right? Dr. Caprono always says, the niches have riches. So, I mean, just stay the course. It's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Barb and Kelly, you guys met, I think, the same way that I met Barb through Wise.
Well, I met you. Well, I think I met you in the community somewhere along the line, and then you came to Wise, and that's how I met you.
Right.
And then later on, I met Kelly. Yes, through Wise.
Yeah. So I think every woman that I know in Syracuse is connected to Barb in some way.
Well,
Everyone says, I have this new coach at Wise, and I'm like, and her name is Barb Stone. Yep, know her. Yep.
Yeah.
But I did have another coach before I had Barb, so there are other coaches.
There are other coaches. There are. But for whatever reason, the ones that get connected with her are ones that I know or always get connected with her.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
That's
But I met you, Laura, at like a meeting. Like just at a meeting, I remember meeting you like way back.
Yeah,
Like way
yeah.
back when.
When I first moved to Syracuse, I was doing a lot of networking, so who knows where those would have been.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so Kelly, what is probably one of the biggest takeaways you have since being published?
Oh, dear.
Or pieces of advice you might share?
Well, piece of it, I mean, just the marketing. It's just so much. I think that's probably the hardest part. I think the marketing is like harder than the writing, especially for
Well,
somebody with my skills. Like I can't think about it. There's like I have all these ideas. There's not enough time. Like how do you decide? Trying to, I have so many speaking engagements and, getting in all these different places. It's so much fun when I go out and I'm so happy I do it, but like, it's just a lot. Just to keep track of it and keep up with them. I don't have a VA or anything. I probably should at this point, but just trying to, get people to look at the book, buy the book, maybe book me for something, it's just a lot. I'd say the marketing. I think maybe the Amazon review thing is probably what I wish that I'd paid a little more attention to, is getting a lot of reviews before I had launched it.
right.
But I was just trying to get to that conference, and so I think I'm going to have to kind of do it now.
Right.
Do the Amazon review push now.
That makes sense. Well, better late than never on that one. Which is a
Yeah.
perfect segue into Barb, who is so good at marketing and promotion. And you're at another event every other day and winning another award every other day. So you came to us
Congrats.
with drool, with so much to drool about, after complete and utter frustration with your previous publisher. And I was so happy that we were able to get this thing back on track for you. So, but I did want to see from your perspective, not from me as a publisher, but from you in hindsight now, what are some of the things that you would tell someone else who's looking for a publisher what they should be looking out for or looking to get?
Yeah, so I think number one, thanks, Laura, because you guys helped me when I was in a mess. But, I think, people recommend you to start working with somebody. And then, they go like, oh, they'll take care of you. But as I went down the road, I became the project manager, and I became, I was supposed to know everything about it, and that's not what I hired the original publisher to do. At the time, I was thinking I wanted to go to Laura because I know Laura, but she was doing more workbooks at that time, and she hadn't really gotten into other things, and so I'm going like, okay. So I walked down the road with this publisher, and it was a good learning experience. So my advice is to really do your research and really listen to your heart and gut. And something kept on saying to me, this isn't going good, this isn't going good. And even in the first month of engagement, I said, hey, look, if you don't want to do this, I'll move on. Oh, no, we're going to support you. Well, that was my first sign. And anyhow, it did make it to Amazon bestseller in 4 categories. And I really worked the launch for it because I ended up tapping into everybody that I knew who had an email list to mail out that I was having this book launch through Amazon to get it, the bestseller campaign. Made it, and I was happy. But the process of it is a lot of work. You got to get the reviews up front, and then you have the campaign, and then you send out all these emails, and then you send out all the reminders to have people to buy the Kindle version. And so it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it was okay, but then there were issues with the publisher, and Laura and Jess, Wildebeest, and to my rescue. And now, continue to move on. But it is a lot of work. If you think you're just going to put it out on Amazon and go through Ingram Sparks and go to different, Barnes and Noble, that it's just going to sell, you're going to be, lots of oodles of copies, it doesn't happen that way. But I had decided that, Drool, it's about life lessons through the eyes of my 4 Great Danes. And I really wanted to make it more of a ripple effect. So, and I'm finding that there were so many different places. I've probably gone on about 50 to 60 podcasts. And again, fitting it into my schedule was a lot of work. And then trying to every week or every other week, there was a pop-up event or somebody wanted me to talk about it. And I'm still doing that. I've got 2 events in May. One of the things for people to think about is getting in front of book clubs. Book
Yeah, I've
clubs
done one.
are amazing. If you can get there to speak and then put the book in front of them and then have them have a conversation. Now, mine is a little bit different because it is life lessons. It's got a little verbiage, a picture, and a pithy statement. But what I do is I have people open up and start conversations, and before you know it, I am selling books. But it has been a journey, and there isn't one thing that's going to be the magic pill. There's lots of different things, and I have applied for a lot of book awards. I have been 3rd place on one, honorable mention on another one, but I won 2. One was the Independent Press Award for a gift book, which I had wanted to make this. I'm really excited about that one, and I'm going to be getting the award next weekend, going down to New Jersey. And the reason I was really excited about that was because I wanted this book to come out for Mother's Day and graduations, to be able to give it as a gift for life lessons to people. So I'm really proud about that one. And then the other one that I just found out about is the Book Fest. I was the best for nonfiction animal, because obviously 4 great things. So yeah, and it's a journey. It's kind of a little bit of a legacy. There is so, you never know when you're putting your work out there where people are going to find you. But I do have a lot of speaking events, and then I do go into school. I've got another gig going into a school and working with these children, because this is part of SEL, social emotional learning, where they really need to learn about life. I'll be doing a presentation, and then we'll be going through stories, specific stories in the book, asking them questions about it. And I might even be able to bring Zeus.
That'd be awesome.
Then,
I love that you bring the dogs sometimes.
Yeah. And then I do pop-up events. I've been asked to, last year I was at one, and they go, Barb, would you do it again? And, I have merchandise to sell and to go along with this, and people love the thought. But another one that I just got a call for is going into nursing homes or assisted living and talking to them about the book. And again, life lessons. What did you learn? How can you share, and how can you pass these on? Because we're always in the learning mode. So yeah, it's been a journey.
I think it's such a great crossroads from you and your values and your dogs, and it's just such an embodiment of you yourself, and so it's your path. I think it's amazing, and I love seeing all the stuff that you're doing and the different ways it's percolating out into the world. But I do want to ask you, since you have been, some people publish, especially self-publishing, and they don't do much. Some of it because they don't know what to do, some of it because they don't have a budget. But I think people look at other authors and they think, I don't know if they think it's easy or someone gave them money or if they're getting it for free, or, for you, when you do things, clearly you're spending money on something, and I don't want you to tell us how much or anything, but how are you deciding where to put it? Like, there are 100,000 awards. Yeah. How do you decide I'm gonna put some money into this one, or I'm going to put into this one? Like you said, the one was the gift one, so that makes sense for you.
Yep.
But just kind of, if you could summarize how you decide where to spend your marketing dollars.
Yeah, so I think part of it is to end up seeing, like, where can I get the most exposure? I have had billboards, and then I'll get people phoning me and go, Barb, I see you, Or I did the movie theaters, and they go, Barb, you're on the screen. So will I end up saying that I'm getting my money back on that? No, but and I didn't do it to start saying I was going to get my money back. But this has become, yes, I'm a leadership development coach. The name of my company is Build Your Path. And I'm helping people build their path. And the stories in this book come from my blogs. So it's all connected. But I just decided that when we pulled out the blogs and the stories from the blogs, that we were going to put it through the eyes of the Great Danes. So it's all connected. So it's just part of an extension of who I am and really wanting to get it out there. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell you, Laura, I haven't really set a budget. I just do I want to show up there? And do I want to do that? Just as I know that I've worked with my clients and end up saying, as you get different marketing channels and end up saying what's working, what's not working, there are certain events that I've done last year that I would not go back because it was not a good event for me. But I didn't know until I did it, and then just kind of end up, one of the things I think that we're all, to an extent, servant leaders, and I really want to be able to share. And when I get some people who I've done, for instance, I've done raffle baskets, and I've had people come up to me at different events and go, "I got your book in a raffle basket," and I'm just, it just really touched my heart. And I said to him, "Thank you very, very much. And what I'd really love for you to do is please pass on the word, to sell it and get the exposure there." So, yeah, I mean, I think getting out and speaking is another place. And I'll do it because I'm very passionate about this book. I'm very passionate about the meaning of it and the impact that it can make in everyone's lives.
Truly, I mean, the title alone is its own glimmer. There is so much to drool about, right? Because we can get stuck in that looking at the negative things. I'm in the Denver area and completely dog obsessed. So I'm just sitting here like, oh gosh, I would go to these adoption events with these rescues and just have the book there, set a table up, get to pet all the puppies. And it's just, that's what we always tell everyone, just make it your own and find we always say throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And it is just kind of dipping your toe in and seeing do I like the temperature here? Are there more people in this pool hanging out, having a good time? So
Yeah, I'm going to some new conferences this year to try to see okay, are these going to be checklist people? We'll see,
exactly.
Gonna go hang out there and see what happens.
But
So.
Exactly.
the possibilities are endless.
They really are.
And it's like everybody wants a magic pill that it's just gonna, this is what I gotta do, just tell me what to do and it'll work. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
until you step into it and you make it your own. And
Exactly.
so Jess, you nailed it. It's I've helping hounds we got here and another rescue, it's endless. But it's also, you've got to really think about your time as a resource and your money as a resource. Where do you want to put that
Yeah.
resource? So what fills you?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
On every, yeah.
And
Well-
you don't always know.
Our time is running short. Kelly, what is next for you?
Or speaking
More
engagements.
conferences.
It's really busy. I'm gonna go to the ACES conference next week, which is copy editors. And I'm not speaking at that one, so I'm just getting the lay of the land, just seeing if there's a lot of checklist users there. And then next month, I'm going to go to a local AMWA, which is conference. That'll be a smaller event, probably meet more people, more intimate, kind of thing, see how that goes. And then I'm going to Editors Canada, which
Ooh.
first international conference. I forgot. I'm speaking at an international I'm going to speak internationally at a conference, so that's next month, and that'll be fun. And then I have another local one in June, another local AMWA one in June. So this is spring conference season. There's just a lot going on, and I'll have a little break in the summer before fall conference season starts up again.
Yeah,
So we'll
you and
see.
Laura, you're really traveling a lot lately. She's bouncing all over as well.
Yeah.
And Barb is a Rolling Stone.
Oh yeah.
So, Barb, what is next for
I
you?
see what you did there.
I know. I know you have a million things, but top 5, top 3, couple things coming up.
Top 3. Number 1 is I do have another book coming out, and it's going to be more geared towards grade schools, and I'm going to have questions in there because I think that a lot of the stories are asking questions to really get the dialogue going, and especially with the younger children, because there's a lot of lessons in here that they need to learn. And so that's going on. I'm going to start a YouTube channel because what I'd like to be able to do is continue sharing the stories of this book and getting it out. So another way of getting it out is doing a YouTube channel and get them to buy the book. And then continuing to speak book clubs, pop-up events, and just being able to spread the word about drool, because drool is meant, so life needs to be savored, and we need to drool over life. So
Exactly. And does Zeus have the outfit that he's wearing, or that is on the cover? So when you bring him along to these events, will he be in that beautiful bow tie?
He has bow ties, but he does not have a red and yellow one
Yet.
yet.
And that was part of the merch. That's not in your merch catalog.
Thank you, Kelly.
This completely off the top of your head. Don't overthink it. If you could invite anyone living or no longer on this earthly plane for afternoon tea, who would it be? If anyone's ready, they could go first. It could be a mentor. It could be a celebrity that you find interesting. Or a dog that's no longer with us, of course. So please, as your whoever's, are either of you have an idea?
Yes.
Okay.
I will go.
Please. Thank you.
So my grandmother, I call her Nanny. She was from Poland. She came over here, and she didn't have a lot of money, but one of the things she really taught me is a lot about love. And she was ever so, and she taught me about love because she told me about how to be unconditional about it. And I would love to share this book with her, and I know she can see it, but to see that was a seed that she had planted in me when I was a child and a baby, and taking care of me, because that's what she really did. She took care of me.
No, that's a great answer. Too bad you got to follow that one, Kelly.
I'd say Will's frivolous.
It's painful, because I was just thinking about my grandmother and how, she always instilled a love of books with me, and I've gotten a lot of her books, and she's, she had Alzheimer's at the end, and I feel like I lost touch, before it hit too hard, and then it hit too hard, and then you don't. So, yeah.
I think that's the cruelest. Yeah, I had a great grandmother I wish I could have gotten to know a little bit better. She came from Italy, and English wasn't her strongest suit. But she was just like, Barb, you were saying your grandmother is, and I'm sure Kelly, yours was as well, where it's just like she was one of the kindest, just love, all the time love people. And she's fascinating, always wanting, typical Italian granny, wanted to give you more food and more candy and more bananas and everything all the time. It's great.
Well, I hear Dottie gearing her face up to drool all over.
Whoops. Yep, that's my dog.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know who to blame on that one, but
she's very thirsty, and I didn't feel it. So yes, clearly, she's my reason for living. I love her.
She loves to shove her face in the water.
Well, her actual breed is an Airedale Terrier, but someone called her an airhead terrorist. And I was like, yeah, that tracks too. Terriers, if you have terriers, they are smart and headstrong and hilarious. So she's great.
She loves to soak her face and drool all over me, even though she knows I hate it.
That beard drips everywhere. So I made sure to put a big carpet in the room that her bowl's in so it doesn't ruin the floors.
All right, guys, this has been amazing.
Yes,
Before you go, tell people where they can find you. Kelly first.
The website is headbookworm.com. You can buy a book on there that I'll sign for you. I'll give you a bookmark. Or you can go to Amazon like everybody else, or you can ask your bookstore to stock it. And please leave me an Amazon review. Thanks.
And you can find me at barbstone.me. That's my website, and you find out all about me. You can see a lot of the podcasts and You can buy my book there too, or in Barnes and Noble, or Amazon. And yes, I would love a review once you purchased it. To say the impact that it's made in your life.
Yes, Dottie is very aggressively saying, give those reviews. Thanks for joining us today.
Those
Thanks for
woodpeckers
having
aren't going to
us.
chase themselves. Thank you so much for making the time, ladies. It was really great to see you on here.
Thanks for having us.
So now that we have our friends have left the building or the pasture, if we want to stick with all our nerdy puns, have you heard about how the best way to find a publisher is? I can use words. Hi, I'm the editor and I can't put sentences together. You real good stuff finding research on the internet. So yeah. So Laura, obviously we've been talking with people and kind of finding out how they found their path, or Barb built their path. What's some of the feedback that you've been hearing from people?
Yeah, I mean, it's always this. I think we need to talk about how to find a publisher because a lot of people don't find out the wrong way until they've already done it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's good.
there's things that you really, really need to know up front before you start looking. And first of all, talk to many. Even if you talk to us, talk to 4 others.
Yeah.
We are the worst sellers in the world. We're not here to sell anyone, but we are here to invite you into our herd if you would like to be with us. But if there's a better fit for you out there, by all means. But there are just, first of all, we're not going to get into this today, but what is traditional versus hybrid, which I do not think we are. We're nothing traditional. And doing it yourself. Like, what do those options really look like? Now there's AI publishing and like that might work for some people. There's really, all the options that are out there. I mean, except for the truly scam ones, could be valid. There's such a like knee-jerk reaction to, oh, you're hybrid, or oh, you're whatever, or you're making people pay. Like, these are valid ways. If you aren't going the traditional route for many various reasons, we can talk about another time also. It's very valid to pay someone as a service to do something for you that you could very well do yourself. It's no different than having somebody work on your car. Yeah, you could change your carburetor yourself, but you're likely not going to do that.
Precisely.
Right. So, you listening to other podcasts and stuff have told me about some things that you've heard people lament about afterwards, having picked a publisher.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And, like you were just sort of saying, to kind of bounce off that, what you see is what you get with us. And we try and be as like open and transparent as possible. I mean, all the costs of everything are listed very clearly. What you get, what you get for your money, it's all right there. And I've heard feedback from a lot of people that sometimes they have difficulty finding some of the, some sort of details like that with other people, or, there are hidden costs. And multiple times, we had a few new clients sign on recently, and they said, okay, well, what are the hidden costs? I'm like, because the marketing costs that we mentioned, it said those are very, very small. I mean, a few bucks here or there. If it's anything larger than that, we're going to tell you, it's just like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
people
better
need
to
to
just
look
be upfront.
for the format of it. You need to be very clear on how does this work.
Yes.
Like Barb talked about, it was all very like figure it out yourself, or you should just know. Like you don't know how this works. That's why you're paying someone, if you're paying someone else to do it for you. And so you want to know that whoever you hire to help you with your book is going to communicate with you. And you want to know that you're not going to be left in the dark. One thing to know is that it is very normal for them not to be able to share live numbers with you. It's not really a software that exists that isn't greatly expensive. And even if it did, it's not set up to be shared publicly or with you directly. So that's not maybe something that people are hiding. But they should be able to tell you. I've heard from people that, I asked my publisher, how many have I sold, and they can't tell me. Like, they should at least be able to tell you, even if they can't give you the live data.
Yeah.
All of this, so that's all transparency. So you want to make sure if you go to the website and you can't find what is their process, what do they charge, should be a red flag. Now, if you still submit and then you wait at some point before you go to contract, you should have this information. Nothing should be a question before you sign. And then what else you want to look for? That support afterwards. So many people publish their book and then they move on to the next author.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we may have mentioned this in the last podcast too, but it's just like we're as invested in our authors' personal stories as we are in their written ones, because it's like we know these people, especially spending all that time at AWP and being able to tell people that walked up to the booth, oh, hey, this person, yeah, this book is about this, and this is what this person is about. And just having that little bit more of a personal relationship has been really great. I mean, I just sat on a meeting for an hour and a half chit-chatting with one of our authors, talking about life and support and just all sorts of other things in spring and how there's a new fire in our bellies to get out. And we've, a lot of good creative ideas coming out, like the beautiful tulips that are sprouting in my yard. So it's, as Barb was saying, you have to kind of like trust your gut a little bit in this and just see, because we might be the perfect fit for somebody else, but other people are gonna be like, I don't know, that Jess girl is a little too intense for me. I'd like something a little more like arm's length or something like that. So it is just finding the right fit, and it's different strokes for different folks, of course.
Yeah, but I think those big three are really non-negotiable: communication,
oh yeah,
transparency, and support. Like, what are you getting for that, for whatever you're putting into it? And even if you do traditional, there are things that you should look out for, and that hopefully your agent is helping you with those things. But I know Kelly mentioned that her publisher was there giving away books. That looks great. That looks amazing. Look how much support I'm getting. But who's taking the money for that? So you really have to pay attention to what you're getting. I know people who have been traditionally published who aren't allowed to go to an event. They aren't allowed to sell a book from their hands. You can't even sign a book and give it to your friend. So there's a lot of control. So that's another, like I said, I wasn't going to get into this, but another day we will talk more about the different types of publishing and what you get and don't get with those. But it is something to look out for before you sign off. And I guess that applies to you, like service publishing as well. How much does it cost you to get copies of your own books? Because I've heard varying differences on that. We don't charge you much above the cost. I've heard other people say they have to buy their books
at full price.
Yeah, at full price. If they buy a certain amount, they get a discount. But then I'm like, where do you get your margins? We want you to make money. And where the money is in his sales from your own hands. Yes. And so we would never stop you from getting that. So anyway,
we've mentioned the royalties aren't really royal, a lot of the time. And it is kind of getting the copies in your hands and, putting feet on the street and going out to these events and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's enough on that.
Of course, if you have deeper questions, please reach out to
Yes,
us.
yes, please. Or if you want to know more, if you want to argue with what I said, like, go for it. Let's go.
Oh, we don't want to argue.
Well, you can try. I don't argue.
Polite discussions, yeah. So then, Besties Corner, huh? So we've had a lot going on with besties. As y'all heard earlier, my bestie was just in here slurping up some water and causing a ruckus. Yeah, and you were just babysitting some new little feline, and I don't know, are turtles?
It was
what?
Red-footed tortoise.
Yeah,
it was
tortoise. Excuse me.
Significantly sized. Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad it's over, and my pet sitting days are probably not as grand as my mom's. My mom is like
your mom is out there.
Pet sitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. I get too attached, and it's like my life disappears for the animal, which is why I have the spoiled puppy running around in here.
Yeah. I think our episode is going long here, so do you want to jump right into our story?
Oh, yeah. So we have another Beastie Besties, and
submit yours.
And I'm sorry, Jamie and Dan, if I butcher this, but is it Bruletti? It's a very beautiful name, but this was submitted to us, and I haven't read it because we like to be just as surprised as you all are. Surprised. Here we go. Okay, so your origin story. How did this story begin? Was it a corporate cubicle, shared hobby, or a total accident? And they said, technically this story began way back in 1996. Hey, watch it there. When I first met my husband, who's also my very best friend. Perhaps more pertinent to the tale, however, our shared midlife crisis began in 2020 amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, yeah. I mean, that seems like ages ago and yet just yesterday.
Right.
So then, the Wildebeest moment. What is the biggest, scariest, or coolest thing you've tackled together? A business launch, a wild trip, a massive project? Give us some details. And they said, avid travelers and real estate investors. Ooh, fun. We took our combined love of both and dove off the deep end, aka take a leap, together when we purchased our house sight unseen in Belize. What?
Yeah,
we proceeded
awesome,
to renovate the house together, which was by far the craziest thing we've ever done. I can't even imagine. That would be awesome. Belize is beautiful. Renovating a house in a developing country while still living in the United States would have been enough to drive most couples straight to divorce, but somehow it brought us closer during an already crazy time of life, and we even managed to make money by the grace of God when we decided to sell it a few years later. Well, congratulations on that, because I can't even imagine the details of purchasing real estate in another country. So the struggles, what challenges did they face together, and how did they shake it up and keep going? Dear Lord, where do I even begin? I love the way she's writing this. We faced just about every challenge you could possibly imagine during a renovation along the way, from having to navigate customs and shipping furniture and home goods across the sea on an actual barge, to having tarantulas in our yard, scorpions in the house, and nearly being bitten by one of the deadliest snakes on earth. The entire experience was one unbelievable moment after another, but neither of us regretted it at all. And this is kind of the thing when you say, like,
I'm kind of sad
if
they
someone
didn't submit pictures.
I know, right? Like, if like one of those things where it's like, oh, if this were in a movie, you wouldn't believe it, but real life is even more wacky than movies and just books. Okay, so their inside joke. We refer to the entire timeline of purchasing and renovating the Belize home as our midlife crisis. Most people end up with some sports cars or fall into the traps as infidelity, but we spent our time and money on a crazy Belizean adventure.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, us both being big travelers, like, this speaks to our hearts.
Yes.
So their advice to the herd, their secret to a successful entrepreneur or business bestie partnership. They said, you have to fully trust one another and support the decision. Truth. Once a decision is made, there's no backing out. You have to be all in no matter the outcome. I think that's fair. And I think you and I have kind of learned a little bit of that along this leap we took together. So yeah, that is, I mean, this whole situation, I couldn't even imagine, like, living with someone has its challenges, you know, because you all bring your different ideas and quirks and things into a situation. And then, like they said, moving to another country, like Belize, and getting furniture shipped there and everything like that. That's awesome. I mean, I would love, we're going to need some tips from you guys so we can buy these.
Sounds like a great adventure.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. It's like when I was in Ecuador, they said, oh, it's easy to buy a house here and we use your dollar. Just come down. And it's like, okay. And yeah, I'm shy to speak Spanish. So
Right.
no.
Well, that is an awesome story. And if you would like to share yours with us, we want to hear it. We want to hear from Beastie Besties, whether you're sisters, brother, sister, whether you're best friends for real, husband, wife, whatever it is. We would like to hear your stories of how it doesn't have to be two of you either. It can be a group of Beastie Besties. You could be a herd of beasties.
Yeah, exactly. But Jamie and Dan, thank you. That's awesome. We'd love to see pictures or hear more about your midlife crisis. Can you show us pictures of your midlife crisis? It sounds like, no, that's awesome. But, you know, and just like being able to laugh at the mishaps sometimes. Like, you know, we all take everything, and rightfully so sometimes, but sometimes you just got to be able to laugh at yourself and just go like, put it on the pile. Let's keep moving.
Right. Well, that is awesome. Thank you, friends, for being with us today.
Thanks,
be yourself, run wild, and take leaps.
And don't forget to pen your pages and high five your homie.
Bye.